This segment of Panther Sports Talk is brought to you by CFU, the power of service.
Another year, another Missouri Valley Conference championship. That's exactly what happened this year for the Panther volleyball program. But next year, the Panthers will be without a couple of all-conference performers due to graduation. How will the Panthers respond? Well, we caught up with head coach Bobbi Petersen to hear about the spring volleyball season for the UNI Panthers.
Actually, it's probably the most important time of the year for us because we get that little bit of conditioning phase where I think it builds our team in team chemistry, in mental toughness, so that's an important part. But then we also get in there and work individually on players and work on their deficiencies, not just the team. So I think there's a lot of growth, both as individuals, and then we also have our part of the season that we also do some team training as well. So you get a lot of different phases in a short amount of time, and the growth, especially our younger kids that haven't been through our program. You come in as a freshman and you have 2 weeks and then we compete. So the focus really isn't on individuals. So to see their growth from the spring, the beginning of the spring to the end is a lot of fun. So we had a lot of opportunities this spring to get better. I think, the biggest thing, you look at it as it's a clean slate for everyone. It doesn't really matter who even played last season. Obviously we have spots open because of graduation and, maybe people not being on the team anymore. But even if they were on the court last year, it's really a clean slate, and I think everybody goes into spring rejuvenated with their chance to have an opportunity to work hard to get on the court. And what I've liked about it is I think we have a lot of flexibility in positions. We have people that can play left or right pin. We have people that can be a DS or libero for us, but also could help us as a front court player if we needed to. So there's a lot of flexibility there. We're a little bit low in numbers. We like to be probably about 15 when the fall comes, but we'll be a little bit under that. But the group that we have is so hardworking, and everybody wants their opportunity to get on the court. Yeah, for us in the summer, that's probably the hardest time for us as coaches, I think, because we don't get any contact. Their contact comes from strength and conditioning, so only in the weight room and some of the conditioning activities, but no required things that we can do. So it's up to them to touch balls. They do a good job of playing in sand leagues and getting together a couple times a week to work on the game. But that's why for the coaches it's a little nerve-wracking, but we have good leadership, kids that understand the importance of coming in not only in shape, but being able to touch a ball this summer is also very important. I think the biggest part about our spring competition isn't a lineup. It's more getting people that maybe haven't been on the court the opportunity to see what it's like. There's obviously a lot more pressure being in a match against another team than being in your own gym and playing against the same people over and over. Not quite like the fall pressure, but it gives an opportunity to evaluate another team as the match is going on. Obviously, you learn to know your own team very well over each practice, so you get the chance to do some of those things. You do start working on some team chemistry on the court, but we do a good job of kind of throwing things at them by different lineups every time. Everyone has the opportunity to compete. But I think just that match time, even though it's a little bit more laid back in the spring, I would say there's still that pressure. It's another team, every point counts in practice. It's not quite the same. There's not really a consequence as much when you're going against another team. There's a lot more that you have to think about, and every error that you make, you have to process that and understand you're going to make errors but move on. And I think that's a big part of volleyball, and it's easier to do that in a practice setting than it is when the match is on the line. So it was a lot of fun this year. We got to play in 4 tournaments this year, which we've only been able to do 3 the last few years, and a lot of great competition. And they worked so hard this spring, and that's really also what you're looking for. We're trying to figure out what kind of team we're going to be for 2014, and they've done a good job of starting that process for sure.
Season tickets for volleyball and football are currently on sale. Stop by the McLeod Center or call the ticket office to secure your seat and to support these outstanding Panther programs.